Hello, hello, hello.
Hey.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Life in Sync.
You didn't sound persevered.
Welcome. I'm being very dignified today, very
All
proper.
right.
Anyway, welcome to Life in Sync. I'm Mary. We have Erica.
Hey, everybody.
Let us know you're here, and hopefully they'll put some of those comments up tonight so we can hear your feedback on what we're going to be talking about. But first of all, ladies, how was your day today?
It was a
Busy.
day. It was a day.
Yeah.
Has
I can definitely say I'm ready to exhale.
October
Yes.
been good to you?
Yes, we're here. Yeah.
All right, that's enough. Well, tonight we're going to be talking about releasing to receive, releasing to receive, and even now, this being the last quarter of the year, it's so important that we continuously take time to self-evaluate, especially in regards to those things in our lives. What should we let go? What should we keep? What should we change? What should remain the same? What connection should we continue on with, and which ones should we let go or reposition? Not necessarily cut off or burn the bridge, but sometimes it's just a matter of repositioning those things. So we have to make sure that we are able to release in order to receive. To release means to allow or unable to escape from confinement, to set free. Release also means to allow something to move or to act or to flow freely. When you start thinking about releasing, you have to think about the opposite of that, which is confinement. And to be confined means to be kept or to be restricted. And when we're confined, we're restricted in our space, in our scope, in our quantity, and in our time. I don't need anything restricting my time at this point in my life. I don't need anything keeping me from building or increasing in quantity and in size or in my scope or neither in my space. So if there's anything that's going on in my life that's restricting me and keeping me from growing and becoming and doing the things I need to do, um, to the point where I'm not able to act or to move, then I might have to consider releasing some things. And so releasing to receive. And what we mean when we say receive is to come into possession of or to acquire, to be given something or presented or paid with something. So um, a lot of times we have to release some things to get some things. We have to make room for the increase. We have to make room for the next level. We have to make room for the new connections. And so just wanted to touch on those things tonight. And we'll start out with Erica, releasing to receive, and let us know what you got on that topic, ma'am.
I think one of the keys to releasing, first of all, is identification. You have to know what is it that you need to release, and how do you know that? Is it hindering you? Is it stopping you from going forward? A lot of times we may be afraid to release relationships, whether it be a job. You may think, okay, well, this job is, I'm scared to leave this job because I don't know what else is out there, or I'm not qualified, my skill level, or what have you. So I think fear, again, may stop you from releasing a thing because you're afraid of the unknown. So I think it's important for you to identify that issue. It may be a relationship, whether it's a romantic relationship, or it could be a relative that you need to distance yourself from, or a friend or a so-called friend that you need to release yourself from. And you don't want to release that because of fear of retaliation. It could be fear of the unknown, or just you don't know what's going on. So you have to identify those areas in your life that could potentially hinder you from going to the next place. And then after you do that, you've identified, then you can receive it. Once you've let your hands go, what if you've released, if you got something in your hand, you're holding it tight, you can't leave, but you've got to release it. And when you have your hands open, you can't receive a thing. So you have to identify what the problem is and then release it. And once you release it, you can receive it. And then if you think too, now you have room. You've let go of that thing that stopped you or from hindered you for so long. And now you have the room to receive everything that you need. So identification is so important. And once you identify this thing is taking up too much space in my life, it's not doing me any good, it's stopping me from moving forward, it's too heavy for me, then you can release it. Because what are you losing if you release it? It was stopping you and dragging you down anyway. So I think identification is a big thing for me. In my mind, it is.
I got kind of tickled because I thought about my mom watching Life in Sync and say she always take notes so she can check me. You said cutting off family members. What you talking about? I said she gonna have something to say about that. Like, what she did?
Uh-oh, you in trouble now.
Erica said it, not me, Mom. So, but you're definitely right. Identifying those things that are hindering you are a big part of what you need to clarify as it relates to some things you need to release or reposition or rethink concerning your life in order to be able to receive. Because if you got too much on you, if you have some things that are weighing you down, disturbing your peace, causing you to be stagnant, those are some reasons why you definitely need to make sure that you put yourself in a position where you can know what you need to be looking at so you can identify what you need to actually release. So Rhonda, I'm gonna let you go taking on from there, Miss Ma'am.
Well, I agree with Erica. Whether it's whatever you're trying to achieve in life, whether it's a new relationship, whether it's business, whether it's a new position on your job, whatever it is, or just being a new person in general, a better person, a better you, you know, you're gonna either do two out of three things. You're gonna hear a command. We know that for sure. And then you're either going to open up to receive it or you're gonna let go to receive it. And just like an elevator, you give it a command, right? To tell it where to go, to tell it what to do, right? So, and what it has to do, it has to open up. So you're either going to open up, and then also, think about it when you're on the elevator. Once you give it that command, something has to release it in order for it to move to that level that you want to go to. So that's what you do in life. It's just like the elevator. You're either going to open up in order to receive that increase or whatever it is that you need, or you're going to let go in order to get to that next level. Like Sierra would say, level up. We got to level up sometime. And we do. And so my thing is this, and look, and while you moving up, sometimes you might get stuck along the way. But what happens? You reevaluate, you identify, just like Erica was saying, and then hey, you start working on that issue and continue to move up. That's what you have to do. You either finna let go, you finna open up, or you gotta let go of something. I never forget when I first started to do hair. I just got out of hair school, and I was working for EF Young Manufacturing Company from 9 to 5 in the morning. And then I was going into the salon in the evening time, working till like 12 or 1 o'clock at night. Danny Brown was one of the directors at work. He stopped me in the hallway and he said, Rhonda, he said, I see you've been working like some late hours, it looked like you got a pretty good clientele. He said, why won't you just go full time? He said, what's stopping you? And I just looked because it wasn't nothing but fear and me being comfortable with making that guaranteed money that I knew I was already making, And so it was out of fear of opening up, of letting go in order to get to that next level. But when he said it, it was like I was saying, that command or that idea, that unction you get, it lit something in me. And I decided that I would take that leap. January of that next year, I would take that leap, and I never regretted it, when I did. And he told me that day, he said, when he realized that, he said, you will never get anywhere in life trying to hold on to what you're comfortable with. And I have always taken that, and I am not, to this day, I'm not afraid to take risks. Because Always
You're
the
right.
You are not.
say what?
You're a big.
You are
I
not.
said you're a big risk taker
Yes.
for real. But your point brings me to something that I was looking at as it relates to releasing, where you have loyalty versus familiarity.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you're loyal, you're faithful to a cause, you're faithful to an organization, you're faithful to a person,
Mm-hmm.
almost to a fault, to where you put yourself and your dreams and your ambitions and what God told you and
Mm-hmm.
what's been spoken over your life to the back burner because you're so loyal to whatever it
Uh-huh.
is you connected yourself to. And then you have the familiarity factor. And you mentioned, fear. When we talk about what's familiar, we're talking about what you're in close acquaintance with, what you have knowledge of, what you're comfortable with, whether it's fear. Some people are familiar with lack,
Mm-hmm.
not having enough. Some people are familiar with being mistreated or abused or mishandled. That's familiar to me. Some people might be disappointed, being disappointed all the time, being let down, being in toxic relationships. And
Mm-hmm.
so then we remain loyal out of familiarity, of fear, of being comfortable in situations that are not necessarily healthy for us, when we need to step out and we need to release. Because even like you said, in those situations where I've actually had to release, to move on, to step out,
Mm-hmm.
especially when it was a God thing, it was always a choice, because what I was leaving wasn't bad. What I was leaving wasn't uncomfortable. What I
Yeah.
was leaving, there was no problem.
Mm-hmm.
Where I was, I could have stayed, my whole life and been fine, and probably would have been more comfortable, and lived my life and been well. But when I got the unction to move, when I got the unction to transition,
Mm-hmm.
there became a choice to be loyal to that thing that was familiar, or to actually step out on faith and familiar ground, and actually taking those steps. When the elevator opened, when the door opened,
Mm-hmm.
and I stepped off, it going up, it's always been better and better, each
Yes.
time. So most
Mm-hmm.
definitely that loyalty and that familiarity. What y'all got to add to that? Hey, Kenya, how are you?
What I look, and just so happened I was working with Kenya at the time.
Oh,
At EF, y'all. Look, and so but what I was gonna say, what you were saying by being loyal to people, and that's why it's so important, for divine connections and knowing who to connect with. Because when you're connected with someone that's there to assist you, they will have no problem with helping
Exactly.
you get to that next level.
Right.
Like I want to go back to like Mr. Young. When I went to tell him to give my resignation and tell him what I was going to do, he didn't try to stop me. He didn't try to hold me back. I mean, he actually started imparting into me, gave me ideas, started to get telling me things to do, in order to build my career. So it's when you have people that you are, divinely connected to, and it's so important to know who you're divinely connected to, because they will help
Absolutely.
assist you to that next level.
Right. And something
if
you
you're
were
going
saying,
to
Rhonda,
go ahead.
something you were saying earlier, Rhonda, is to help you have a better life.
Yes.
And that is so important. And when you stay stagnant, you stay in that one place and you don't release, guess what? Your life is not going to change for the better. So
Mm-hmm.
you've got to get in your mind and make the decision. Hey, I'm going to make this change. I'm going to release this person, release this job, release this relationship, because my life is going to be better. So why
Yes.
should I stay in a position or a situation that's not
Mm-hmm.
going to benefit me when I can go somewhere else and it can be so much better? It's different.
Mm-hmm.
I'm uncomfortable. I'm not used to it. I don't know anything about it, but it's
Uh-huh.
got to be better.
Got to be
So
better.
that's the way you ought to look at it. Your life would be better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yes,
if I heard a,
indeed.
a woman of God say, being connected to a builder, somebody that can
Yes.
build you. If it's never
Hmm.
not your time and they don't ever see it, or that's not what they feel the Lord is saying concerning your life, or because we come to the church, we've been in the church and dying out. You know, seriously.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of us, it's just culture.
Yeah.
Set
Mm-hmm.
yourself free. You know,
Yes.
Right.
take it how you
And
want to take it.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just saying,
Yeah.
nobody can ever see the gifts you have, or your abilities, and you've been faithful to an organization or to a job or to a, you know what I'm saying? There's no promotion in sight, no next level in sight, no,
Mm-hmm.
nobody can ever speak into your life, nobody can ever help push you forward. They don't have
Okay.
nothing to give,
Right. Mhm.
Yeah.
and you there like you on a plantation.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh.
Release, release,
Yep.
get
Or
free.
you around, or you're around those people that want you to settle because they're settled.
Right,
Right.
right.
You know.
Mhm.
And you
And they
and
can't
you
see
moving
any
out.
further than where they are right now.
And you when you move forward, it sets another standard. It makes them uncomfortable, so they try to pull
That
you back down.
yes.
No,
Mm-hmm.
it's time for
Mm-hmm.
everybody to go after what God has placed in them.
That's it.
Go
Yes.
after your
That's
goals.
it.
Go after your dreams. If you fail, get back up, dust
Yeah.
yourself off. You know what I'm saying? People talking about you anyway, so you might as
You're
well.
right.
At least it'll be a
You may
legitimate
as well
conversation.
you may as well
Yeah.
just go on out there.
Move
You
forward.
out
Yeah.
there. Go on
Yeah.
out there.
Right.
And what I always say is never a failure because I always say, look, that was just my practice run.
That's
Because to me,
good.
a
Right.
failure means that you have stopped trying. Everything has stopped and has ceased. But as long as you keep your eyes focused and you're trying to accomplish that thing, hey, that was just my practice run. And
Right.
so I take
Mm-hmm.
notes
Mm-hmm.
and try to do it a little differently the next time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
And
But
I'm
for
like,
wherever you are, whether you stay or whether you go, wherever you are and whatever you do,
mhm,
you should be growing and progressing.
Right.
Look at your life. Do a
yeah.
5-year review. Are you still
hmm
doing the same thing or things the same way?
hmm
You know, you might need to release something so you can receive something. You know,
Yes.
be real with yourself. Be real
hmm
about your situation. The truth is what makes you free.
hmm
So you gotta get in a situation where you're not afraid anymore. You know what I'm saying?
hmm
Mm-hmm.
So what?
Mm-hmm.
Talk
Right.
about me. So what?
hmm
You know what I'm saying? Put it
Yeah.
out there. So what? You ain't gotta understand, but I
Right.
got to release you.
hmm
I gotta move forward. You know what I'm saying? I ain't telling not everybody. Life and Sync is not telling everybody to go quit their job tomorrow. But just put that disclaimer out there. We might just give you a little $25 cash out, and then that's all we can do. We can't do nothing. But what I'm saying is, what has changed in your
Mm.
life? How have you progressed in your life? How have you evolved as a person? Everybody's
Mm.
maybe not meant to, you know, be out front, or you know what
Right.
I'm saying, or do this and that and other. But there should be growth somewhere, is what I'm
hmm
saying.
Yes. Yes.
Make sure that you're always growing, and if you're not growing, that means that maybe you're restricted. That means that
hmm
you're confined in some areas. You
hmm
know, in your time, in your space, in your quantity, your capacity, your scope. Something
hmm
has you bound.
Yes.
And so you need to make sure that you're in a place where you can get yourself free. You have to make sure that you're posturing yourself or positioning yourself so you can get some positivity, some goodness in your life, some
hmm
peace in your life, some joy
hmm
in your life. Nothing makes you happy. Everything drains you. Everything weighs you down. You holding on to some things that you need to be, releasing. And so you have to
Right.
make sure that you're in a place where you can do that. If you're worried and losing sleep, you know that affects you as a whole being, and so you have to make sure that you're looking and evaluating at this point. This is the last quarter of the year 2020.
Right.
It's supposed to be so great. Yay, it's the last quarter. Yeah, God's gonna do it. Well, he's already done everything he's gonna do. He waiting
Mhm.
on you. So there
Yeah.
might be some things you need to release. He's already done it. He's already written your future. He's the
hmm
author and finisher of your faith. It's already done. He knows his
hmm
plan. You the one you keep pushing pause. You the one that's stagnant. You the one that won't
Mm.
move. You the one that's so
hmm
loyal to a thing or to a person or to an organization that you won't step out on faith.
hmm
So you waiting on God to do? No, God ain't got to. He's already done it. So it
Mm.
doesn't matter that it's October and this is the last quarter. The ball is in your court.
hmm
You gonna shoot it? Shoot your shot.
3
Yeah.
points.
You gonna move forward, or you gonna sit there and watch everybody else score? You gonna how long you gonna bench yourself? You put yourself on the bench. I just got through
That's
watching a little bit
good.
of NBA ball, so that's why I'm mentioning
Girl, you
basketball.
better preach.
I just accidentally started watching a basketball game before I came here. But anyway, make sure that that you get your head in the game. You wait, God gonna do it, and He gonna come through, and da this and da that. Man, stop all that church jargon. Get up and make
Okay.
some things happen for yourself. It's
Mm-hmm.
already done. Literally, it's
Yeah.
already done. You
Mm-hmm.
know, it's the difference between your breaking point and your breakthrough. That's where you are. Your breaking point and your breakthrough.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna keep on holding on to things that you ain't, got no business holding on to relationships, entertaining things you shouldn't be entertaining, going places that you shouldn't go, remaining in
Mm-hmm.
relationships with people that you roll your eyes, have to take a deep breath and call on God before you click accept the phone call. You know what I'm saying? Your breaking point, and God trying to get you through the breakthrough. So you can shout all over about it being the last
Yeah.
quarter of the year as if God was waiting
Mm-hmm.
till the last 3 months to do something for you. He waiting on you.
Mm-hmm.
Shoot your shot. What else y'all got?
Mm, nothing.
That's good,
Shoot,
Mary.
shoot
That's
your
good.
shot.
And I like the fact that you brought
Some of the
out
stuff,
that
some of the
we
stuff,
go ahead.
we build people's faith, and I get that. We have to build faith, but nobody wants to tell the truth of the matter. Is this all? Jesus said, "It is finished. Everything is already done. Your plan is already
Mm-hmm.
mapped out. God has already spoken. You already know what you're supposed to be doing. You're just not doing it. So there's not going to be
Mm,
some miracle way that's paid for you because it's October and it's the fourth quarter of the year. That is not so. It's all on you at this point. It's all on you.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, Erica.
oh, I mean, you hit the nail on the head. I was going to bring out what you just said. We have a tendency to over spiritualize things. Everything, is not all deep and spooky. I'm going to sit and wait, turn around 3 times. I'm going to sit and wait. And it happened for me. He did it before. He can do it again. Yes, that is true. But what are you doing? Your faith without works is dead. So what type of actions are you putting with your faith? You're believing God to get out of debt. You're believing God to get a new job. You're believing God to get a new car, whatever the issue is. But where's your faith? What actions are you matching with it? You can't just sit here and do nothing. You need to put something in place. You need to strategize. You need to work towards a goal. You need to release some relationships. You need to release some habits. That's a big thing. Release some things that you do that you know that are hindering you, and open your hands to receive a better way of doing things. Don't be so closed-minded where you say, okay, this is what I do. I do it all the time. I eat oatmeal and apple for breakfast every morning. I've been doing it every morning for 3 years, and I'm not going to change. Well, start right there. It doesn't have to be a big thing. It can be something so small as what you eat for breakfast every morning. And once your mind gets accustomed to making small changes, you can make bigger changes. So don't get so stuck or locked in doing one thing a certain way all the time. We're fluid people. We move around. We're just not stagnant. We move around. So you need to be able to flow when there's a shift, or you need to change. Don't be so get out of whack when things are different. Relax a little bit, do something different, and it's okay. It's not a heaven or hell issue. It's just change. It's not bad.
Mm-hmm.
Some of it
Release
might
your
be.
way. Yeah.
Some of that stuff you release might be a heaven and hell issue.
What? Right,
The
right.
breakfast might not.
Use discernment and wisdom.
Wonder what you got to say, girl.
Girl, that's about it. My thing is, it takes sacrifice. You have to be willing to lose. You have to be willing to, go without in order
Yeah.
to see, the goodness of God in the land of the living. You got to be willing to go without, and to get to where he is wanting you to be. That I will always remember, I was told, the only reason a lot of times our lives are sustained on earth is because of the purpose that he put us here to accomplish. And if you're not walking toward that, in order to see those things come to pass, what reason are you here to be sustained? Why would he sustain you here? And my thing is this, and yes, they'll tell us we all got a day, and we know we all gotta die. We know we all got a day. But when we do, what will you have left behind, or what will you have accomplished? Was you here being about the business that he sent you to do? Why he created you in the first place? I would want to be that person to say, hey, I put it all out there. I left it all out. Like Mary was saying about shooting shots, I left it all on the court. I want to be that person to say, hey, I came here and did what he wanted me to do.
Yeah.
I went after that. And so, hey, if it takes me to quit starting those cycles, if it takes me to let, that guy go, I was finna say something else. The guy go that, ain't no good for me. Black Lives Matter, so I ain't gonna say that. But, my thing is, come on, quit starting the cycles. That's the whole thing about it. Put your big girl drawers on, get about your business, do what it takes. You know what I'm saying? I mean, come on. The sacrifice is worth it.
Yeah. But that's the thing, to go without, to not go to the party, so that you can have the money for the business.
And look, Mary, since you said that, look, it reminded me, like, back to when I first started doing hair. I partied about four nights a week. Do you hear me? And we was traveling. I mean, seriously, 4 or 5 clubs in a night in New Orleans, doing what we were doing, spending all kind of money, to the point to where, I couldn't come to the salons on a Saturday until probably like 10, 11 o'clock in the day, because I had to rest up from what all we had been doing. And, my thing was, and it took one of my clients to really tell me, do you know how much money you can make? Do you know what kind of business you really could have if you were to pursue it? And she just got me to thinking, are these other things worth that? You know what I'm saying? And I'm blowing what I was making, partying and having fun. But when I started to let go of the clubs and let go of the drinking, let go of the smoking the weed, doing all of that stuff, everything started to come full circle. It started to come full circle, and I started seeing my life progress. I started to see it. I was making ground. And then I started to live a different life and a better life. Then I look back at what I was doing. I didn't even want to go back to that, because, hey, this was better. This was the good life. And so you really realize what you were trying to hold on to wasn't even worth it in the first place.
That's it.
So I say go for it.
Taking trips you can't afford, running up your credit cards just to get some photo optics for Instagram and Facebook. And you just way too grown for that.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. And so it's time to make those moves. It's time to evaluate your life. It's time to look at what you need to release, and in order to receive. And basically what we're saying is make room for success. Make room for greater, make room for more. Get those unnecessary things out of your life, or either reposition them into a place where you can have room to grow and have room to become and have room to evolve and fulfill your purpose.
It costs to be the boss.
It costs. Yeah. It does. I would like to go and have some great fun. I'm not that fun person, though. Don't take me with you. I would ruin it for you.
And see, everybody, that's the catchphrase right now. Boss lady, boss moves, boss this, boss that. But how many people are bosses? You have a boss attitude, not bossy, but boss. That you are willing to make the sacrifice, to put the money back, to not do the trip, to hold off on this. Are you there yet? And if you're not, it's time to release some things so you can receive some things. Don't just call yourself the boss, be the boss.
All right.
No,
And
I gotta
sometimes
put
it also
myself in debt. Gotta put myself in debt so I can go on these trips and stunt on Facebook and Instagram. It ain't worth it. It ain't
mm-mm.
worth it.
Go out in your front yard and take some pictures. Take some pictures of yourself
How about sit
clocking
at
in
that
on your
computer and
job.
strategize? This
There
is
you go.
Yeah.
make out my plan. Let's make out my plan for what I'm
That's
fixing
the
to do.
boss move.
Yes. And not a
Mhm.
1 year, not a 1 year plan. You gotta do 5 and up. Let's see what I'm gonna be at in the next 5 years.
That's it.
And see that
Mhm.
thing come to pass. Now, I still do this, like, you know how I have a notebook at the beginning of every year. I write down the things that I want to see accomplished out of my life. And God never fails me. You know, it's only been a couple of times, maybe one or two things was not accomplished
Wow.
on that list. And when I look at it, and you like, wow, just all of the things that, when you really purpose yourself and be intentional about what you want to do, how things will
Intentional.
just come into place. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
That's good, Rhonda.
most definitely. And think about what the end result will be.
Mm-hmm.
What's the end result? What's this? What's the consequences of this? You know. And it's not like we're not talking to teenagers and children. This is for grown people.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
And a lot of this is lessons that we've had to learn. The bought sense that
Mm-hmm.
costs so much.
Yes.
Yeah. So, y'all have anything else on releasing to receive tonight? Any
I know
comments,
some nuggets were
questions?
released.
Yeah. Shoot your shot.
Rosin
Amen.
said that this was blessing her.
Mhm.
Stop being scared.
Yes.
It's normal to be, a little nervous and everything, but man, do what you
Go
call to
for
do.
it.
Do
Mhm.
make the move, man.
Yes.
Get with
Mhm.
some other people who making some moves. Have those
Right.
types of conversations. It's amazing,
Mhm.
even among us, how our conversations have changed even this year.
Mm-hmm.
We talk about deep stuff and we talk about like stocks and what I'm saying, and
Mhm.
how much money did we lose on this and that, and I mean, just you just think about how you evolve. We trying to get the bag, okay? And
Okay.
Okay.
making the different connections and which way should I do? What you think about that? Just forward thinking,
Mm-hmm.
and
Right.
a lot of that has
Mhm.
come from us releasing things that we needed to release
Mm-hmm.
to make room for those conversations.
Yes.
It ain't no conversation about, oh, I don't know how I'm gonna pay my bill. Oh, this situation
Mhm.
is so heavy. Not that we don't have bad situations or issues happening in our life, but when you have those empowering conversations, with people that you can trust, it makes a difference in your, being supported so that you can move forward. But I can say that I guarantee you that they will testify too that it's all because of the things they released and the moves that they
Mhm.
made and the
Mhm.
repositioning of
Mm-hmm.
things in their lives that opened them up to be able to receive and to be in the place that they're in now.
Right.
So thank God for y'all. Y'all so
Thank
wonderful.
God for you.
Yes. Thank God. You're a pusher. You are an influencer.
Like, what is wrong with you? Get your life
Mm-hmm.
together. And a lot of times when I'm talking to other people, trust me, I'm talking to myself. It's a different conversation. So this has been Life in Sync. And we just hope that you enjoy Real Women, Real Talk, Real Life.
Yes.
Continue to pursue your purpose and make sure
Mhm.
that you're living life in sync. Y'all have a good night.
Bye, guys.
Right.